Wheat, our Trojan horse. Hello, invisible friends. I am Logo, and I want to share with you the logical steps we can take if we have a major disease and how to face it while continuing to attend to the treatments and recommendations of your doctors. There is nothing more delicious than the smell of fresh bread. I used to make them with my bread maker to have them fresh in the morning. The truth is that it's a delight, and I can't deny that fact. Another thing that cannot be denied is the fact that gluten hurts us all. There are people who are more sensitive, and that is well understood. How difficult it is to see things when they happen very slowly, since the reaction times are different. As the fable says, if we place a toad in hot water, it will jump immediately, but if we place it in fresh water and heat it slowly, it does not react and cooks. To put it simply, we can slowly get sick, and we won't notice a difference until it's something more serious. In the book Bread Brain by Dr. David Perlmutter, he explains that we are not made to deteriorate cognitively with age. In fact, today more than ever there are many degenerative diseases that were rare cases in the times of grandparents and are seen even in the youngest. The abuse of carbohydrates, especially wheat, drives the inflammatory chronicity of the body, affecting our brain, significantly increasing the risk of dementia and conditions such as ADHD, Tourette syndrome, among others. Gluten sensitivity increases the production of cytokines due to inflammation, but these block the production of neurotransmitters such as serotonin, taking away the feeling of happiness. What would it be like to eat without bread? What happens is that the brain feeds much better on fats, i.e. a ketogenic diet, getting energy from ketones. An important part of this practice is fasting, which accelerates the use of ketones. It has been proven that the brain and heart function 25% better with the use of ketones. It has been proven that the absence of gluten substantially improves people with epilepsy, lupus, autism, Parkinson's, among other conditions. Not resting properly significantly deteriorates the entire body, especially the brain. In fact, leptin, a hormone that controls appetite, is affected by lack of sleep, and if it decreases by 20%, it causes anxiety and unhealthy foods as you enter the carousel of anxiety. Dr. David Perlmutter concludes that fats such as cholesterol help maintain a healthy brain, while carbohydrates can damage the brain in frightening ways. This is how wheat works. By the way, it's not his fault that he has gluten. No seed wants to be eaten just like that. His defense system is to have something deterrent to that end. Wheat developed gluten like barley and rye, which are the most common in our diet. Another similar solution that plants have that cause almost the same problems is lectins. And the problems they cause are a systematic damage to the gut by making it permeable, that is, making its abilities to absorb what is convenient for us and repel what is not convenient for us altered. Over time, we will become more and more sensitive and allergic to some foods. This can end up in autoimmune problems or start celiac disease. Gluten sensitivity. It is a reaction of the immune system to the consumption of gluten and lectins mainly. Gluten is a protein that triggers an immune response in your small intestine over time. It begins by deteriorating the villi of the intestine, preventing it from absorbing essential nutrients. There is no cure for celiac disease, but for most people, following a strict gluten-free diet can help manage symptoms and thus promote gut improvement. Ideally, moderate the consumption of foods containing these proteins and, on the other hand, nourish the intestinal flora with soluble and insoluble fiber. This is provided by salads and vegetables mainly. Some cereals also help, as in the case of oatmeal. The protective layers of the gut fail and deteriorate. Mucus layer. The mucus prevents large particles from coming into contact with the epithelial cell layer while letting small molecules through. Epithelial intestinal. They are the layer of cells and villi that cover the intestine. Microbial species are trillions of beings that process food and simplify it to be absorbed. Many of these processes cannot be done within the body. Therefore, taking care of the microbiota is taking care of your health. We are the aircraft carrier and they are the crew. Gut immune system. This system has an intestinal tissue that acts as a physical barrier and a component associated with the lymphatic tissue that constitutes the barrier that blocks undesirable substances from being absorbed, while preserving the ability to absorb essential nutrients. The consequence of absorbing substances such as gluten into the blood is a cause of metabolic disruption, although bacteria can also pass into tissues such as the brain, causing deterioration. Dr. Mark Hyman, a neurologist, in his studies of the cause of the epidemic or significant increase in neurological diseases, assures that bacteria C. diff that should not be in the intestine, that is, bacteria that are not part of the intestinal flora such as bustles of a ship, usually cause many inconveniences. He calls it protein aggregation or protein misfolding, which is caused by microtubules, and microtubule dysfunction caused among other causes by bacteria such as C. diff, which is the main cause of this cause. This bacterium usually appears due to the ingestion of antibiotics. These spores die in the heat of a fever, but fever is usually frowned upon even in its mildest manifestation, so we block it with medication. The two internal repair mechanisms are sleep and fever. Remember that bacteria love the brain since 25% of glucose goes to that organ. But on a ketogenic diet, it is improved considerably since glucose levels drop and ketones feed the brain well and bacteria eat fast food. Basically sugar. An example of bacteria entered a pathogen of the flora, such as E. coli, that due to intestinal permeability can pass into the blood, which tends to cause meningitis. E. coli or Escherichia coli produces vitamin B and K in the gut. To conclude, the problem caused by a leaky small intestine is serious. Therefore, as always, moderation is key. Let's not fool ourselves if we eat gluten or lectins a little but very often or a lot several times a week. In short, we can enjoy more things by varying our diet without deteriorating so much. It is your decision to take the steps to move forward. If you liked the video and want to help spread the word, remember to click on the bell and subscribe to receive more information like this. Remember that step by step we can improve. The worst thing is to do nothing. Invisible friends, we see ourselves in the mirror